Good morning. My name is Rob Quickenden. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer here at Cisilion. I'm joined, as always, by Iqbal, our Head of Modern Workplace, and Craige, who runs our new business team. I'd like to thank everyone, firstly, for our regular attendees that have joined these sessions every week. We've really enjoyed doing them, actually. It's something that we hadn't ever done before on such a kind of almost a random basis. So thank you for joining and for the increasing number of people that are attending this each week. So I wanted just to give a little bit of an intro to the session today and a bit of a recap. So we've titled this session Customer Success Stories. And the reason for that is partly because I think, as we're coming through, hopefully we've ended the hump of this pandemic, and we're starting to look forward now. We've got some additional lockdown restrictions being eased as of Monday. I was saying to the team actually before we joined, I've actually been invited to my first barbecue of the year on Monday night in my friend's back garden, which I absolutely cannot wait for. It's going to be, I'm going to eat my weight in barbecue food. But it's also today our end of financial year. So again, guys, thank you for joining us, because I know it is quite busy. But I wanted just to recap really on the year that we've had. Talk a little bit about how we've helped some of our customers, how we've changed as an organisation from where we were this time last year and looking ahead, and really kind of the key things that we're looking forward to as we enter our new financial year. So I was thinking this morning, actually, this time last year, our offices, all of them would have been pretty full. End of year is always quite an exciting time in Cisilion. The sales team are aggressively trying to kind of finalise their year. We've got a bar area booked in our local bar around the corner from the office. We've usually got a curry house or something like that booked for everyone to go and have a bit of a hug and a celebration at the end of the year. And then we're looking forward to our annual kick-off event, which we host every year at Sandown Racecourse, which is where the whole company comes together, and our chairman gives an outlook to an outlook to kind of what's coming and a recap on the year before. And of course, it's a really different experience this year. And I think I think the mood is still really positive. I think there's lots of virtual huddles going on. There's still all the kind of general excitement, but it is definitely different to how this has always been. But I think the year we've had has been really good, and I think we're really fortunate in the areas that we work in, the technologies we work with, the technology vendors that we work with. We've had a really good year, and I think there was a lot of fear from us that what would happen due to COVID. But we've done really well. We have had projects that have slowed down and stopped, as we alluded to on previous calls. Lots of wireless installs and network type projects, of course, have naturally stalled. But then on the flip side, we've seen massive acceleration on customers wanting to move more services into cloud to enable them to be more agile, to invest in more remote working solutions, to gradually expose more of their organisation in a safe and secure way. We've seen organisations move a lot of other traditional on-premise type services, such as voice and things, into the cloud. And so we've seen it's been a real kind of push-pull between what we've seen. We did leverage very much at the beginning the government employee protection programme for those roles, and actually it's been a really positive thing for most of those people, because we've really invested in training for those teams and ensure that they've got the ability to learn new things, work on what they want to, how they want to transform themselves, and really think about what that new world is for them. And it's been a really positive experience. And I think thank you firstly to all the managers that we have under us that have helped make that happen, and to our HR team for doing such a great job. So the other thing I think that's been really interesting, just to recap on, is how I think our company has really become united. We're not a huge organisation, but we do have multiple offices, and there's always this, every year there's this kind of feeling of a bit of a them and us, whether that's kind of the back office part of our organisation or the front office, or one office versus the other. And of course, because everyone is now working from home, not all of those, everyone's equal. Everyone works in the same place, i.e. home, and we've really seen our organisation unite and come together. I think everybody is working more efficiently. I think everybody is working more productively. Sometimes that's bad. There's sometimes too many people involved in things because they can, but there's a real sense of focus and drive around customer success, which is obviously the ethos of today. And I think for us, there's been a real shift in attitude around just always making sure what we do is the right thing for our customer, which is of course, always the case. But it's really come together, because I think more than ever now we have all been in this together, and I think we need our customers, and for those of you that are on the call, thank you for sticking with us. We need our customers to succeed so that we can succeed. And it's been a fantastic journey I think we've been on, and every person I speak to, every C-level contact I've got that I speak to, I kind of feel the same. I think it echoes that same feeling. So as we look ahead into next year, there are a whole set of things I think that are going to continue to grow based on what we've seen over the last months. And I think to answer that, and just to give my voice a break, I'm going to hand over to Iqbal. And Iqbal, the kind of question I wanted to ask you really is just maybe explain to our followers, how we've been looking after our customers during this time and some of the things that we've done.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. I think one of the things that I'm really proud of us as a business is how we've continued to kind of support our existing customer base. I think it's always exciting to work with new customers on new opportunities and things like that. But what we have done is we've made sure that our existing customer base has been looked after very well. What we've done with these customers is, I guess, whilst providing them a kind of business as usual service, that's very much, we've had to adapt that over the last few months with this the crisis that we've all been in. With some of the stuff that we've discussed already is providing a flexible support and managed service offering. We get that our customers are needing more support during this period. They have more users using different tools and things like that. So whilst adoption's a key thing, support's definitely there, and that flexibility we've been able to offer our customers, that's gone down well. One of the key things we've talked about is the trials that have been on offer through Microsoft and Cisco in particular. We've helped customers not just provision it and enable these services, but help them to adopt. We've done some great stuff with the NHS to help them quickly adopt Microsoft Teams, as an example. Another law firm recently have fully adopted WebEx globally for their global organization, and within a matter of 3 to 4 weeks they've fully adopted that capability, and that's all down to the hard work the team have put in to make that happen. And so some of the in terms of cloud consumption, for example, we've looked at how we can help customers further optimize that, how they can potentially save costs in that space, and then the final one for me around what's been really useful is helping customers spread the costs over the next few years using finance. And again, that's we've done a session dedicated on how we can help customers on that journey. The final one for me, I think, in terms of where I've seen a big change is in the legal sector. We've historically been known for working closely with some of the kind of top law firms in the world, and we've helped them on their kind of journey into this digital transformation, which has pretty much been fast tracked over the last few months. But these guys, predominantly these firms, have always been slow to adopt the latest technology, only because of their processes and the way that the firms are operating, the way that the lawyers work, the way they kind of engage with their clients. That's now changed drastically. So with these guys in particular, we have been helping with transitions into Office 365. I mean, it seems quite straightforward, but understanding the security implications of it, understanding where the data resides, because many of the law firms, they have a separate data management system. So we're working closely to understand how does that fit in with the overall Office 365 landscape. As well as that, obviously, everything that comes with cloud voice services through either WebEx contact centers and things like that. All of those things have played their part in helping these law firms. And there is a podcast that we published recently where we had HFW's IT Global Director Mark Parr, who was kind enough to come on with us and discuss how, what impact this whole crisis has had on them, and how we've helped them on their journey moving forward. And I know we've got a few more coming up. One in particular is Chris White, who's an ex-Clyde & Co CIO. I think he'll be joining us on Thursday, 11th of June, again to discuss what he's been seeing, because he works closely with many of the law firms out there. So just to kind of switch tack a little bit, Craig, do you want to just cover off what you've been seeing and what the outlook is for next year?
Sure. Thanks, Iqbal. Thanks, Rob. Rob, I'll go down the same road as you and kind of reminisce a little bit about this time last year, whereby we're preparing for Sandown, which Sandown, our AGM, is delivered by our chairman. And this year, as our 20th year in business, if you guys remember, it was a recap on Cisilion up to this date. And even I, someone who's been here for 6 years, found it really, really insightful. Understanding the heritage of our business, the challenges we've been through, and how we continue to overcome them, which was great. It was good to see how Nick's strategy from 4 or 5 years ago to go legal, finance, insurance is really paying off. So, well done, bro. And it was a lot about investment. We'd had a good year. We plan to grow the sales team out. A couple of our grad schemers, business development, had moved into sales, and a couple of our top sales guys were promoted into sales team leads to grow out our abilities to reach customers new and existing. The investment, though, on the engineering and resource side, I think is more pertinent to our followers, in that we're a traditional infrastructure system integrator, but our investments in staff in the last year have been focused on cloud. There's no switches, there's no data cabinet, and automation as well. So really excited feeling going into this year. We'd had growth, we could see more, and we wanted to get more ingrained, wider and deeper, more guidance level partnership with our existing customers, which is great. But we did want to focus as well on some new vertical markets. We've smashed legal, to be fair. Like you said, Iqbal, the world's largest law firms trust Cisilion to deliver their infrastructure projects and support them on their transformation journey. So that's always been the case. But we wanted to look at leveraging our HMV case study and looking at a retail as a vertical as well. So during the year, I've got to say, some of the automation projects that we've delivered for top financial firms, getting things done faster, making systems talk to each other and work and integrate that aren't designed to. That's something that I've been really proud of this year. As is the cloud kind of things. We're moving now from this project-based mindset as an organization to programs of work, delivering work packages and projects within that program, which lead into managed services, which lead into adoption and change, almost as a cyclical thing, which is fantastic. We're speaking to a different caliber of people. I don't think I ever spoke to a transformation director before this year, and pretty much that's all we're talking to at the moment. So the number of new clients we brought on has increased this year. I'm pleased to say it's another record year of client acquisition. We have done really, really well in retail, and anyone who knows us or any of our retail clients, thank you so much for the trust that you've put into us this year. So number of new clients has increased. Number of wider and deeper, so more revenue coming from one customer has increased, which goes right back, Iqbal, into how well we're looking after people. Goes right back, Rob, into the survival comment that you made, like how a business is going to survive. They're going to look at partners like Cisilion to propagate their own survival, which means that the better we do with them, the more work we're getting. So it's a really, really wonderful thing. And then the crisis come along, obviously, guys. About 3 months ago, we were flying, and it was a bit of a knee jerk, as it was for many organisations, a bit of a shock, really. But Rob, again, touching on what you've said about the unity within our business, and I'll be keen to know from anyone on the call whether or not they're seeing the same thing, because I'm overwhelmed, mate. This crisis has brought us closer together. There is no front of house, back of house divide anymore. So you're right. You're absolutely right to call that out. So yeah, that's my very quick year in review. In terms of the next year, I'm looking forward to hearing about a vaccine for sure. I'm looking forward to hearing how your barbecue goes, Rob, and if you can bring us a doggy bag. But business-wise, I'm really excited about all the innovation across voice and the physical space. We're having so many conversations about that, and we touched on that in last week's session. Home tools getting better. Wouldn't it be great to have the best device, the best headset, the best audio, the best connection, the most secure pieces of technology at home as well? So I'm looking forward to that. Obviously, spending more time with the kids and codeless programming. I keep touching on it, and Rob, I need to learn more about it. But that hackathon we attended recently with Microsoft was so insightful, and I'd urge any of our followers to get in touch with us and talk about that. But that's me very quickly, guys. Year in review, what I'm looking forward to. Iqbal, what are you looking forward to? What are you?
Yeah. So I've got top 3 things for me. Just I guess to kind of kick off, as you say, looking forward to lockdown easing. I think that we're all in the same boat. But seeing how customers, seeing how we can help customers on that journey, going back to normality and beyond. We've been seeing organizations kind of pivot from that respond to recover phase, but I'm now looking forward to seeing how businesses can thrive, how our customers can thrive as organizations look to reopen and restore the workplace effectively, efficiently, and more importantly safely. So seeing how technology can kind of help us get back to that normal that we all go on about. The other thing, Craig, you touched on innovation. That's going to be massive. I think we're already starting to see how vendors are working really hard to develop and fast track a wide range of solutions. And the codeless programming is key. I think that's going to be number one in terms of organizations are now able to take it into their own hands in being able to innovate and develop apps that can help their business. Again, customers, partners, vendors, we're all working really hard to do that. In fact, Microsoft ran this build event last week. It was all focused on that. It was a 48-hour event. There's this, a lot of that content still available. And next week, Cisco Live is happening, next week's session we'll be covering off some of what Cisco Live will be about. But that event gives you an idea of how things have changed around innovation in particular. Cisco are running, I think, 9 sessions that are dedicated to innovation, and that's probably the first time I've noticed it. I don't know whether that's always been the case, if it's ever been before. They've got any thoughts on this, but I've picked out, out of the 19. 3 particular sessions that could be of interest for you guys. Number one is innovations shaping the future of networking. So this is like programmable silicon, wide networking, wireless networking, IoT, security, machine learning, AI, all within the networking space. Seeing how so that's a session for those network geeks. The second one I've picked out is accelerating transformation, innovation, and growth with automation and apps. So it's a bit of a mouthful, but you kind of get the gist. And this is all about Cisco DevNet and how organizations can start to create new offers, new capabilities, new skills for business continuity and advanced business performances. And I think we get that that's the outcome that we can achieve with things like this. The challenge is how. And that's where we are starting to work closely with our customers to see how this become a reality, rather than it just being part of a conversation. We get it, it's there, but how does this all fit into our business? How can we help to make this achieve our business outcomes? So that's the second one, and just the final session for me is innovation in a time of crisis. So I think this will be quite an interesting event, and what this particular session is about is how we can prevent that I think we living in this modern world, we call modern world in the West, we expect to be able to have the best broadband, the best laptop, the best bundle, like you said, Craig, having the best possible device. But this is the case globally. So if you're working in a global organization, budgets are different in every region. I speak to organizations, they say to me, look, we need a solution, but we need a solution that meets a budget for us here in West and a budget that fits us in the East. So it's how this particular session will things like that, and I think it's quite an interesting one. And then the final one for me in terms of the kind of top three is I'm really excited to see how our business is going to continue to grow. We've had a good year. We're hoping for even a better year next year. I'm hopeful that we can achieve it. That's only going to happen with our customers succeeding, and hopefully we can help them achieve that. And I guess more than anything, I think we could all do with a haircut as well. So I think that's definitely one thing that I'm personally looking forward to. I think when you look back at the sessions, you can see how our hair's just kind of gone a bit wild over the last few weeks. But yeah, just I guess back to you, Rob, just to kind of summarize and conclude this session.
If you're talking, Rob, you're on mute, which I was so desperate to. I was desperate to be able to say that after my faux pas last time. I
did it for you, Craig. I did it for you. No, and Iqbal, funny you mentioned internet. I think there might have been a bit of choppy audio there as well. So I think we've all probably suffered from the internet connectivity demons over the past.
That was a Dalek in the spare room, Rob.
But no, I think, guys, really insightful, and I think I kind of share all of those things. Other than the hair, I think my hair looks fantastic. Just very quickly to summarise. I mean, there's some great things to look forward to. I think there's three things I think that every organisation is going to see in some way or the other next year, and I think one of those is that everybody's going to expect a better home life work balance than they maybe did before. Every organisation I've spoken to expects there to be a lot more flexibility in the way that their teams work. And I think we're going to expect that now because we've had that for 3 or 4 months. And I think people are used to seeing their children more, doing more exercise, doing those kind of things. And I think people have always said work is a thing that you do, not a place that you go. And I know for some industries it is a place that you go, and that doesn't apply to everybody. But I do think if I use us as an example and some of the clients I've spoken to, we're all working a lot better, a lot more efficiently, and hopefully getting a lot more time to do the things that we need to do and enjoy and family time. So I think that will happen. To support that, as you say, Iqbal, we need better technology, better internet access. That will happen. I think we need to have the right tools to work from home properly. That's going to be the right video equipment, the right audio equipment, the right device, the right screen layout, the right chair, all those kind of things. This is going to be a longer term thing that we do. And I think the other big thing we're going to see is for everybody is really, and you touched on the DevNet aspect of what we're seeing with Cisco Live next week, but also kind of what Michael talked about with Build. It is very much now about organisations not having to almost shoehorn technology around the way they want to work. The whole point of this kind of low code, no code approach to work is make the technology work in the way your business works. You don't necessarily have to completely shift everything you do to fit around the vendor that you choose. And I think that's going to be a huge change next year. And I think when you talk about innovation, that's where we're seeing a lot of that innovation now. It's around real customization and real workflow management. I think we're going to see a lot of those things. Consciously running out of time. So firstly, I wanted to just say, as our end of our year, to thank you to all of our current customers and to any of our future customers that may be on the call. Thank you for joining us for these sessions. We've really enjoyed doing them. I think we've learned a lot about each other as a group of 3 in doing these things. And I think because we all work across different parts of the organisation, that's helped us, I think, have a better view of kind of everyone's lives and how it works. So We look forward to seeing you next week. The Cisco live event running next week is in US time. So for those that are planning on taking part of those sessions, there are some very early morning or late night sessions on those things. The agenda does look packed. We've got many people attending. I know many of you will be attending. And the session next week, as we say, will be focused on some of those highlights and the key things we've brought out. So again, we look forward to the conversation around those things. That's it from me. That's it from Iqbal. That's it from Craig. Thank you for listening, and we'll speak to you soon. Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks.
Bye now.